Hi, this is James again, talking to you about Recovery Roadmap. This tool was inspired by the COVID-19 economic crisis. The team at Fafner Lab got together and we thought of ways to help small businesses during this crisis. One of the ways that we made sure that Recovery Roadmap could help everybody was to offer it for free. What Recovery Roadmap does at the most basic level is give you a side-by-side of where your business was in 2019 before the crisis and 2020. You can look at changes year over year with 2019 as that baseline. But we didn't stop there. We wanted Recovery Roadmap to be a forward-looking tool, something to help you as you go through the crisis and begin your recovery. So we provide additional analysis that helps you look forward. We give you projections into the future, what 2021 is going to look like, and even into 2022. And we also give very detailed guidance on steps you can take to help improve your business. Here you are on your tool dashboard for myfinalytics. Recovery Roadmap can be found right here, whether you have that free subscription or a paid subscription plan. Everybody can click here to activate the roadmap. The first step you'll need to do is to connect your accounting data, and you do that on the dashboard. We're going to assume that you've already connected that data. Then all you have to do is open up the tool. Across the top here, you'll see the three most important numbers for your business: your income, the net income or the profit, and the equity or net worth in your business. We give you that 2-year comparison. So here we have 2020 versus 2019 as a side-by-side. We're now into 2021. So you have complete end of year numbers for 2020. And so now you can make a true comparison with where you were in the year before. What you're seeing in front of you is a sample company that we created to help you understand how your recovery roadmap will look. You'll see these top line numbers across the entire tool. And below them, you'll see the navigation to the different tabs. This is the first interactive graphic that you find on Recovery Roadmap. Why is this the first? Because we want you to really dive into what's going on with your income and your expenses. This is a bubble plot, and in some ways it makes your numbers look very fun. What you'll see in green are your sales numbers, and what you see in orange are your expenses. And this here is showing 2020 numbers and comparing them from 2019. This is something where we want you to really dive in and take the time exploring. You can do that on the side here with these features. The first one is these arrows, which show you how to pan. And what that means is you can just grab the graphic and move it around. So depending on how the different bubbles are laid out, you can move it and manipulate it so it's easier to see. One thing that I like to do is look at the number at the bottom and put that 0 right in the middle. So what that means is that anybody who is on the left-hand side of that 0 line, this means these are numbers that went down. So it's a sale that went down or even an expense that went down in 2020. If it's on the right-hand side, then this means this is something that was larger in 2020. So that could be an expense, but it could also be a sale. After you've done this, you might want to zoom because you have a lot of these bubbles close together. So right beneath there, you click on this part of the tool. And this is the box zoom. You just select the area you want to zoom. And there it is. Maybe even this is a little too clustered. So you want to do it again. And there you have it. Now you can simply put the cursor right over each bubble and you're going to get the information you need. So this was an orange bubble. So this was an expense or a bill. And so this is company Faster Now. And the expense that you had in 2019 was $3,300. In 2020, that went up a little bit. In fact, it was a 52% increase. So now you can see that side by side. After you're done looking at some of your bubbles and you want to go back to where you started, you simply reset, and here you are again. Now this graphic is going to look different for every business because everybody has a different experience with their trends in their sales and their expenses. This really is worth you taking the time to dive in and understanding what's going on year by year and understanding all these individual changes. Each of these individual changes are what makes up the history of your business in 2020. You see two very important numbers at the bottom of this first page. The first is your profit margin. You see the number in bold? If you read the text, you get a comparison of 2020 and 2019. Next to it is your break-even point. The break-even point tells you where you are in terms of profit and loss. If you did break even for the year, this number would be 1.00. So if you're above 1, that means you made a profit. If you're below 1, that means you made a loss. The higher the number, the better. And here again, you get your current number as well as the comparison of the year before. The next tab gives you your financial metrics. There's actually 3 parts to this. Let's go down to the profit and loss. Here you're automatically given a comparison of, again, 2020 and 2019, and you can see the income, the expenses, and your net income. It's a nice graphic. It shows you very cleanly how your funds flow through your business. It is an interactive tool. If you decide I only want to look at 2020 first to digest it, you can go here and select 2019. When you hit that box, it's going to actually hide the 2019 numbers. So now you've got 2020 all by itself. And now you've got a nice picture of how the cash flow moved through your business. Now you're ready for that 2-year comparison. Select it again, and now you've got that great side by side. Let's look at your total assets now. Again, you get a great side by side comparison, and we break out your current assets and your fixed assets. A cool thing here is if you really want to focus just on your current assets, go ahead and hide those fixed assets by clicking on them at the bottom. And now I can just see my current assets and how they've compared over 2 years. I can do the same thing if I just want to look at the fixed assets. And here's the value. The numbers on all these tables are going to change based on the numbers that your company has. So these things are scaled exactly to your financial condition. Let's go back and see everything in one place. So this is the comparison of my total assets. Next, we're going to look at the total liabilities. And here are the total liabilities. Again, I have the ability to focus just on one part. So let's look at those long-term liabilities by turning off current liability. And let's look at the whole picture again. And there it stands. These 3 graphics really get at that heart of Recovery Roadmap in terms of helping you understand the big picture, the side by side. In 2022, once those numbers are in the books, you'll be able to compare 2022 to 2021 to see hopefully that your recovery has begun. You can get a sneak peek right now though by looking at the tab on growth metrics. This is a time series projection based on your numbers and the history of your numbers. There are 2 graphics here. This first one is an income projection. It shows you 2 lines. In yellow, what you're seeing is the total income for your business. And then in orange, you're seeing that net income or profit for the business. I want you to note that you can slide back. So depending on the availability of your data, you can go pretty deep into the past to look at these patterns. And we're going to give you a month by month overview. So you can really see these patterns. And then we do a projection into the future. As we go through 2021, we can look at these trends and they will change and be responsive to what's going on each month in 2021. So please do come back and check these numbers because they will continue to get updated. As I mentioned, you get 2 projections here. So first is the income projection. The second one is the balance sheet. This is where you can really think about not only the net worth of your business, but also your personal net worth. Your goal over the long term is to grow the value of your business, and that's going to grow your own personal net worth. So here you want to look at this comparison first of the total assets of the business. That's going to be things that you own in the business as well as the debts of the business and all the assets that are supported by those debts. And then the second number is the actual net worth. So if you have a fair amount of debt, then what you will see is a distinction between these 2 numbers. Again, you're able to scroll back depending on how much data is available and see these trends. And hopefully you're seeing growth over time in both of these lines. We're also going to give you future projections here. And again, please come back to this tool again and again throughout the year because these projections get much more precise as time goes by. The next part puts everything together. The fourth tab is where we give you your customized recovery roadmap. We have narrative text here that is specific to your financial condition, to everything that has happened to your business, and everything that you've seen on these earlier tabs. You're going to see some very specific content. In the upper left, you'll see more details about your financial statement and the analysis of what's going on with your business. In the upper right, you get more details about what's going on with customers and trends in the customers. Bottom left, we give you a little bit of a sneak peek of our Banker POV tool, and we tell you how a banker is starting to think about your business if they saw these same numbers from the tools. And on the lower right, similarly, if you're thinking about utilizing financing in the year to come, we start to give you some food for thought on the impact of taking on new debt for your business. So each of these 4 text boxes, they take some time to read, but it's worth doing that. They're going to give you customized insights based on what's going on with your business. So it is specific to you and what's going on with your business. Here on the output related to the banker's point of view, you see this narrative, and this is based on the company that we set up here in this example. Your current ratio and solvency are both healthy. That's great news. If you can see a growth in your future income projections, you are on the road to good recovery. Likewise, on the impact of loan analysis, if you read in the upper left hand on your financial statement analysis, in the second paragraph, we talk about receivables here as a percent of total sales is small, but it has improved compared to the previous year. So this makes me think that this company has done a little bit of a pivot in response to COVID, and they're starting some new approaches. Here it says the growth is a good sign based on the current conditions. And we give you advice to go back into that income and expenses tab where you were earlier and spend the time further analyzing your receivables and your payables. This takes us back to where we started with Recovery Roadmap, the very first tab, starting, of course, with the most important numbers that you need to know. And beneath this top banner are 4 tabs that let you dive right into your numbers. I encourage you to come back to this tool again and again throughout the year. Give the investment of the time to understand what's going on with your income and your expenses, with your changing patterns of sales and customer trends. You'll be rewarded by getting to know your data. With Recovery Roadmap, hopefully we've made your job a little bit easier, giving you a little bit more of the information you need to make your most important decisions. Thanks.